In this lecture, we will talk about large language model and the sequence modeling in the context of search engine. So when you process these queries in the eyes or in the perspective of search engine, you will realize that in these queries, most of the queries are canonical and representatives of some of the queries. If I visualize it, for example, it's something like that. We take the word drinking water. Now here the word possibility is like in the middle of these two words, there is a words that predetermined in the queries. After the water word or after the last word of the query and before the first word of the query. Now, for example, if you choose, for example, word 1 at this place and after the drinking, here the word 2 and here we have the word 3. For example, if the word 1 is changed, the word 2 possibilities are eliminated or decrease, but at the same time, the word 3 increase more probabilities or the possibilities. What I actually mean is that if the word 1 is changed, the word 2 is eliminated, and at the same time, the word 3 are also changing. And this possibility or the probability game will help us to create the content briefs and structuring our documents as much as possible. In the Koray case studies, they also said that use the unique n-grams. If you are able to use unique phrases or unique phrase sequences that are not seen before, with the unique information, you are a author on topic because you are able to provide the unique information. When you look at this specific section, the query section, here you notice that before the drinking, the word benefit, and before the water, there is a word that is hot and it's a most important adjective. Same as it is, you see the disadvantages of drinking or the side effects or the risks that appear before the drinking word. These are the specific word variation or the possibilities or the sequence modeling or the word sequences that appear up in a queries. For example, most of the queries are have a root query and then this specific root query. For example, here drinking water is the root query and all the other queries are in the form of cluster and they are representative of the root query. Same in all these queries, most of the clusters. So the thing is that in our supplementary content, we give these type of some possible or probable probabilities. That's why we write here after, before, morning eating or morning drinking, drinking hot water in the morning, before sleep, after sleep, and that type of things. So that's why in the supplementary content we use the possible word sequences or the probable probabilities like after eating, before sleep, drinking hot water in the morning, etc. And that's also the reason we don't use the rich words that appear in the queries in our macro context. We cover it in the supplementary content. We already have the direct clear signal from these specific sources that we are targeting. One is site wide and one is page wide. They both are aligning to each other very clearly, and you can also mostly get the contextual signal from the bottom parts of the queries which have the low volume. The main thing is that whatever you choose from these queries, your overall from first to the last contextual vector or the headings are need to be changed for the purpose to connect all the things to each other. Here we have the what kinds of water can you drink hot. Basically, here we connect the different possibilities like Arctic hot water, hot tap water, hot mineral water, hot vitamin water, hot luxury water, or many other things like these in this area. So it's something like the frequency, timing, temperature, circumstances, and these different types of perspectives that we cover in our supplementary content. You can also here talk about the therapy with the hot water because this is also an perspective, but according to our source context, it's not relevant to us. But just for the sake of understanding, you can add here according to your different type of circumstances, you can add these different perspective in your supplementary content. Here, this is an example of recurring neural networks. We all have these sequences one by one. If you check the sequence, here is the pronoun, verb, article, adjective, and noun. Here in a sentence, you can change the movie with a something else, or if you change the certain type of noun, so this specific adjective will also be eliminated, and based on that you will need to remember or understand or think about the word sequences as much as possible. And in the terms of probable probabilities of these word sequences, it is we call the sequence modeling. If you're not able to think some of the word sequences in the proper way, you can also use the large language model to predict the next word or create these type of sequence modeling or the sequences or the probable possibilities. My suggestion is to you first think with your mind, and then if you need or if you're stuck at specific place, then you take the support from these type of tools. If you look at this specific our supplementary content, here you can see different word sequences and the overlapping adjectives and the nouns while creating the best possible question to the previous section as much as possible. And whenever we have a possible connection, we use some of the anchor text in that specific area. Thank you.